Hi there, I'm Ranger Katie and I'm coming to you from Bastrop State Park, just about 30 miles east of Austin. Today we're going to be talking about the fire triangle and what a fire needs to be able to burn. But first I want to remind you to not try any of this at home. I've been trained as a wildland firefighter. I have a working fire extinguisher with me and a big bucket of water, so I'm keeping things safe. Now, fire can be a little bit of a scary thing, but for the most part, it belongs in every ecosystem on the planet. And that fire is just one simple chemical reaction that creates light and heat. And you've probably experienced this if you've ever lit a candle to see when the power has gone out, or if you've ever felt the warmth of a campfire, you have felt the chemical reaction that is fire. Now, within that chemical reaction, fire requires three things. The first is oxygen. Can you think of anywhere that a fire might be able to get oxygen from? Looking around, I can't see it, but I can feel it. That's the air around you. That's where fire is going to get its oxygen from. The second thing that fire needs to burn is fuel. It needs something to feed it. Just like you need food to survive, so does a fire. The third thing that fire needs to burn is heat. Now that's created, for example, when you strike a match with that chemical reaction. So what do you think might happen if you take away one part of the fire triangle? Your triangle is going to collapse. So let's break that down. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and light this candle. And can you think of a way that I might be able to remove oxygen from this scenario? If you've ever used a candle at home, perhaps you've just put it out with what it came with, its lid. So if I just put the lid on the candle, that fire is gonna burn up all the oxygen within a couple seconds. And I can take the lid off and the fire is out. We've removed oxygen from the triangle. Now, thinking about heat, again, if we light our candle, how do you think we might be able to release heat from this equation? This is kind of a tough one, but I can tell you that there's one way to take heat out of the fire triangle that you've probably done, and that is to just use some water. Water will cool down the chemical reaction faster than it's able to produce the heat, thus removing that section of the fire triangle. And it's out. The last part of the fire triangle that we are going to remove is the fuel to feed the fire. And in this case, the match went out almost immediately, partially because of the wind, but partially because it's running out of its fuel at the top of the matchstick to be able to burn. We talk about fire a lot here at Bastrop State Park because it's a big part of our story. You've probably seen that if you've ever visited. We're going to do some other videos talking about how a fire behaves and what a fire looks like in the forest and how a fire helps maintain a healthy ecosystem. So I hope you tune in to see more.